In a world where the hills whisper ancient tales and the river hums a lulling tune, I find myself in a village that feels as old as time itself. This village, with its cobblestone paths winding through lush greenery and homes thatched with golden straw, is more than just a place. It's a living storybook, each corner brimming with traditions and folklore. My name is Alara, and here, amidst the verdant hills and the tranquil river, I have lived all my days. Known to the villagers for my spirited heart and often remarked upon for what they kindly call captivating beauty, I find joy in the simplicity of village life. The laughter of children playing under the old oak tree, the soft clinking of the blacksmith's hammer, and the heady scent of lilacs in bloom are the symphony to which my days dance. Miran, my husband, is the village's pride, a soldier whose courage is as well known as the ancient oaks standing guard over our land. His loyalty, not just to his duties but to me, has been the bedrock of our marriage. His tall, sturdy frame and kind, serious eyes have been my solace in times of worry. Our love story was one that the village often spoke of. Miran, ever the gallant hero, won my heart with tales of bravery and sweet nothings whispered under the moonlit sky. We were young, perhaps too young, but in love, age is often but a number brushed aside. Yet, as the river changes course over years, so too do the hearts of mortals. Beneath my cheerful demeanor and the facade of a happy marriage, a restlessness grew within me, a longing for something, or perhaps someone, who could stir the embers of passion that had settled into the comfortable warmth of embers. As I walk through the village today, greeted by nods and smiles, I carry a secret that weighs heavily on my soul. It is a secret that could unravel the very fabric of the trust and respect we have woven together over the years. It is a secret about a choice I made, a choice that now lies indelibly marked upon my skin, hidden yet burning bright in my conscience. This story, my story, is one of love and betrayal, of ancient customs clashing with the yearnings of a human heart. As I stand by the meandering river, watching the water bypass stones and obstacles with graceful ease, I wonder if my story, too, will find a path to redemption, or if it will be lost in the tumultuous waters of deceit. Stay with me, as this tale unfolds, through the beauty and pain, through the truths and lies that embroider the tapestry of what I must now narrate, a story of profound emotions and inevitable choices. This is not just a bedtime story, this is my story. It was on a day shrouded in the early mists of spring when Torin first arrived in our village. His arrival was like the first warm breeze after a lingering frost, stirring something within me that I thought had settled into the stillness of contented companionship. Torin, with his enigmatic smile and eyes that sparkled with the thrill of unspoken stories, brought with him an allure that was both exciting and dangerous. Our meetings were stolen moments, each a thread woven into a clandestine tapestry of affection and longing. It was during one such fleeting encounter that an idea took root in my heart, a gesture of love, profound yet perilous in its implications. I decided to surprise Torin with a tattoo, a symbol in our village not merely of decoration but of deep devotion. The choice of the design was fraught with significance, a looping, intricate pattern representing eternal love, traditionally inked only upon those pledged in sacred matrimony. This tattoo would be our secret bond, an invisible thread tying his heart to mine, hidden from the prying eyes of the world. As the day of the tattoo session arrived, my heart was aflutter with a cocktail of excitement and fear. The ink master's hut was perched on the edge of the village, its walls filled with the scents of herbal dyes and the old, comforting smell of wood smoke. As the needle pierced my skin, embedding the dark ink into my flesh, I felt each prick as a declaration, a silent vow of a love that dared not speak its name. Unbeknownst to me, a pair of village elders had come to the ink master for their own purposes. Their eyes, sharp with the wisdom of years and the caution of guardianship, fell upon the design taking shape on my skin. Their murmurs were lost in the hum of the ink master's tools, but their glances bore the weight of suspicion and foreboding. The session ended with my skin adorned and my heart wrapped in a tumult of joy and trepidation. I left the hut with a bandage over the tattoo, a physical cover for a metaphorical wound that was slowly beginning to seep through the fabric of my life. As I walked back through the village, the hills seemed to watch in silent judgment, and the river whispered secrets I wasn't sure I wanted to hear. The tattoo, hidden beneath the cloth, was a burning symbol of my betrayal, a mark of a love that was as forbidden as it was fervent. I knew then that the path I had chosen was fraught with shadows and peril. Yet, I could not help but wonder if the heart truly had a choice when it came to the matters of love. As the village sank into the twilight of another day, I carried within me both the glow of new love and the chill of impending consequence. This tale, my tale, was one of passion penned not in ink, but in the indelible lines of destiny. The whispers began as mere ripples, like soft winds that herald a storm, stirring the leaves and bending the grasses in quiet anticipation. In the village where every smile and frown told a story, these whispers grew louder, weaving through the cobblestone paths and around the thatched roofs like tendrils of smoke. They spoke of betrayal, of forbidden love, and of a tattoo that was not meant to be. Miran, my husband, the stalwart guard whose return from missions was always a cause for celebration, came back to a different homecoming. The joy of his return was shadowed by the murmurings of the village, the eyes that averted his gaze, and the solemn nods that replaced the usual hearty welcomes. The air around us became thick with unspoken accusations and veiled truths. When Miran approached me, his stride was steady, but his eyes betrayed a storm of emotions. In our small sunlit kitchen, with the wooden table that had borne witness to years of laughter and shared secrets, he asked me about the tattoo. His voice was calm, but it carried a weight that pressed heavily between us. In a moment of panic, with the walls seemingly closing in, I confessed. The words tumbled out in a rush, breaking the dam of pretense I had built around my heart. I revealed my affair with Torin, each word a shard of glass on our tiled floor. Miran, heartbroken yet composed, absorbed my confession with a quiet dignity that only made my heart ache more. Seeking guidance, Miran turned to the village oracle, a revered figure whose wisdom had guided many through the storms of life. Her hut, surrounded by the whispering pines, seemed to stand at the crossroads of the known and the mystical. Inside, the air was thick with the scent of herbs, and the soft glow of candles cast shadows that danced with the truths of old. The oracle listened to Miran's tale, her eyes reflecting the flicker of candlelight and the depth of her knowledge. When she spoke, her voice was both gentle and grave. She told Miran that the tattoo was more than just ink on skin. It was a symbol of intertwined fates, a marker of choices that would ripple through our lives like stones cast into the still waters of the village river. She prophesied that the tattoo would bring unforeseen consequences, not just to me, or to Miran, or even to Torin, but to all involved. It was a mark of fate, weaving its own story into the fabric of our lives, one that would unfold in ways we could not yet foresee. As Miran left the oracle's hut, the weight of the prophecy hung over him like the heavy clouds that presage a storm. He walked back through the village, the whispers now a chorus that seemed to echo the oracle's forewarning. And as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the cobbled streets, we both faced the gathering storm, wondering if any shelter could be found. In my heart, where love and regret tangled in a painful embrace, I knew that the path ahead would be one we must walk with wary steps, for the tapestry of our lives was now stitched with a thread that could unravel the very bonds we held dear. As the village prepared for its annual festival, a celebration that marked the end of harvest and the beginning of winter's embrace, an unusual transformation began. The tattoo on my skin, once a secret bond of forbidden love, began to change, its lines twisting and colors deepening, as if mirroring the chaos of emotions within me and the storm of whispers around me. It seemed as though the ink was alive, pulsating with every beat of my conflicted heart. The villagers noticed, their eyes drawn not just by the shifting design, but by the palpable aura of change that enveloped me. Whispers turned into stares as the tattoo became a canvas, displaying the tumult of my inner turmoil. It was no longer just a mark, it was a spectacle, a living, breathing tale of passion, deceit, and the tangled threads of fate. The Festival of Truth arrived amidst this backdrop of personal transformation. It was a time when the village came together to celebrate honesty, to reconcile, and to share in the collective spirit of community. Under the canopy of starlit skies and amidst the glow of firelight, a circle was formed around the great oak, the village's most sacred site. Moran, Torin, and I stepped into the circle, the eyes of every villager upon us. The air was thick with anticipation and the scent of autumn leaves. One by one, we were invited to speak our truths, to bare our souls, in the hopes of finding forgiveness and peace. With a trembling voice, I began, confessing my betrayal, my love for Torin, and the pain I had caused. Tears streamed down my face as I spoke of the confusion that had led me down this path, the longing for something that I could not even name until it was too late. Moran stood next to me, his face a mask of stoic pain, his eyes reflecting a turmoil as deep as my own. Torin, with a heavy heart, spoke of his arrival in the village, of our forbidden love, and his regret over the pain we had caused. His words, sincere and filled with remorse, echoed around the silent villagers, each syllable heavy with the weight of our shared sorrow. Moran, last to speak, talked of his love for me, his trust that had been broken, and his struggle to reconcile the duty of his heart with the betrayal he felt. Yet in his words there was also a strength, a forgiveness that spoke of his deep understanding of human frailties. The oracle, overseeing the ritual, declared our truths to be heard and our spirits ready for healing. As we spoke our final words, the tattoo on my skin, so vivid and tormenting, began to fade, its colors washing away like the tears on my cheeks, until it was nothing more than a faint outline, a ghost of its former self. The decision for Moran and me to part ways came not with anger, but with a profound sadness and a mutual respect for the journeys we each needed to undertake alone. The village, having witnessed our reconciliation, learned a poignant lesson about the power of trust and the deep significance of the symbols we hold dear. As the festival drew to a close, the villagers dispersed, each carrying with them the story of the festival, a tale of truth, betrayal, and the painful but necessary path towards renewal. And as for me, I watched as Torin walked away, a chapter closed in the bittersweet book of my life, ready to face a new dawn with a heart wiser and a spirit lighter, knowing that sometimes even the deepest wounds can heal, and the darkest nights often lead to the brightest mornings. As the last echoes of the Festival of Truth faded into the cool night air, and the villagers retreated to the warmth of their homes, a profound silence settled over me. I stood alone beneath the great oak, its ancient branches whispering ancient wisdoms, and reflected on the events that had transpired, the truths revealed, the hearts broken, and the paths irrevocably altered. The tattoo, once a vivid symbol of a clandestine love, now barely visible on my skin, served as a stark reminder of the permanence of our actions. Like the ink embedded deep within the dermis, our choices too leave marks, some seen, others hidden, deep within the folds of our hearts, all indelible. This story of mine, woven into the fabric of village folklore, became a cautionary tale about the complexities of the human heart. It underscored the paramount importance of honesty and trust in nurturing relationships. Every secret harbored, every truth withheld, had the potential to unravel the delicate tapestry of trust that bound one soul to another. The villagers, who had witnessed our confession and reconciliation, were reminded that secrets, while momentarily hidden, often lead to unintended consequences that ripple out far beyond the initial act of concealment. The moral of my tale resonated deeply within the community. Parents shared it with their children during quiet nights, using it as a bedtime story imbued with life lessons. It was discussed beside crackling fires and during the daily toils in fields and markets, a story repeated not just for its dramatic unraveling, but for the wisdom it imparted. The permanence of actions, like the ink of a tattoo, cannot be erased. They can fade, become less visible, but the essence remains, a part of the story of one's life. Through my journey, the village learned that honesty forms the cornerstone of love and trust. Without it, relationships are but fragile shells vulnerable to the merest stress. As I moved forward, with each step away from the great oak, I carried with me the lessons learned from the depths of pain and betrayal. I embraced a newfound understanding of my own strengths and weaknesses and the profound impact of my choices on others. My story, a tapestry of love, betrayal, and redemption, remained woven into the very soul of the village, a reminder that while the night may be dark, the dawn inevitably brings light and the chance for renewal. In this way, my life, marked by both the scars and the beauty of lived experiences, continued to unfold, a story not just told at bedtime, but lived in every breath and every choice, under the watchful eyes of the hills and the gentle flow of the river that had witnessed my deepest sorrows and my quietest hopes.